I want you to take a look at that photo one more time. That is me, Northridge, Accra, Ghana. I was 14 years old. That man sitting next to me in the orange outfit and the dark glasses, that is Stevie Wonder. I want you to understand something about that photo. I was not a guest at that event. I was not someone important. I was a ball boy, a poor kid from Northridge with no racket of his own. But the world was coming through the doors of the Sunrise Hotel, and I was right there. Let me take you back to where this happened. Let me take you back to where this started. Northridge, Accra, Ghana. This is where I grew up. Poor neighborhood, big family, not much money. I was a small kid, malnourished small. The kind of small that certain sports were just not available to you. Soccer, the boys were too physical. I'll get knocked around before I touched the ball. I didn't like it. Track, I didn't have the body for it. Boxing, not a chance. So for a long time, I just sat there and watched other kids play. Then one day, some of us from the neighborhood walked onto a property of a hotel, the Sunrise Hotel, Mr. Mike Egan's hotel. As I told you in episode 1, he didn't chase us away. He let us in. He let us become ball boys. He let us earn a little income from his hotel guests. The world came through those doors. Stevie Wonder came through those doors, and we were right there. That is where I first saw tennis being played. I sat on the wall just watching. No racket, no shoes, no idea of what the scoring was. A ball going back and forth across the net. That is all I saw. But something pulled me in. The first time I walked onto the tennis court, my childhood friend, best friend, was across the net from me. We decided to play a match right away. No coaching, no idea what we were doing. Just two boys from Northridge with rackets in our hands. I remember distinctively what happened to the first ball I hit. It went over the fence. I lost that match, but I remember something. I remember thinking with the loss, this is something I can really do. I don't know why I felt that. My body was small, I had no training, I just hit the first ball over the fence. But something told me, this is yours. I can do this. I didn't have a racket of my own at that point. I couldn't afford one. But around that time, I met a friend. She was a guest at the hotel. Her name was Mrs. Bell. She was a flight attendant on the KLM flight. I asked her, the next time you come, could you bring me a racket? Mrs. Bell came back in about 6 months later. She brought me a racket. A flight attendant passing through Accra on a KLM route. She didn't have to do that. She kept her word, and I had a racket. I want to say something about the people in this episode. Mr. Mike Egan, Coach Atiso, Mrs. Bell, Joseph Bill. None of them had a plan for me. None of them sat me down and said, we are going to change this boy's life. They just did not say no. They just kept their word, and that was enough. With the racket in my hand, I started training seriously under Coach Joseph Atiso. Everyone called him Apeletey. Some people call him Masino. If you say Masino, he will say Makbono. He was the coach at the Sunrise Hotel court. He saw something in me worth developing. He trained me. He pushed me. He built something real out of a malnourished kid from Northridge with a second-hand racket. About a year after Mrs. Bell brought me that racket, I entered my first tournament. I lost in the quarterfinals. I didn't know what the quarterfinals was. I went to Eben Abban and Joseph Doe. my two closest friends from the hotel courts and asked them, "What does quarterfinals mean?" They looked at me and said I was among the best 8, 12 and under year olds in the entire country in the 12 and under division. I sat with that for a moment. I did the math quietly in my head. Less than 2 years, that's how long I've been playing. Less than 2 years and I was already one of the best 8, 12-year-olds in Ghana. I looked at my small body, the body that soccer didn't want, that boxing didn't want, that track didn't want, and something locked in that has never been unlocked since. Tennis is the sport that is going to take me out of poverty. Not out loud, not with a speech, just quietly, internally, completely. I never looked back. 6 months later, I was boys 12 and under champion, then the 14s, then the 16s. By the time I was competing in the 18s, I was ranked number 2 in the entire country. None of that happens without Coach Atiso. He's no longer with us, but I want this on the record. Without him standing on the court at the Sunrise Hotel, the titles doesn't happen. America doesn't happen. Maya doesn't happen. I was 17 years old when I left Ghana on a tennis scholarship to a place called New Mexico Military Institute in a city called Roswell in the United States of America. A boy who sat on a wall in Northridge, watched a ball go back and forth, got a photo with Stevie Wonder, and decided tennis was going to take him somewhere, was about to cross an ocean. Next week, I'm going to tell you what that journey looks like. KLM from Accra, through Amsterdam, to Minneapolis, through Dallas, Texas, to Albuquerque, New Mexico, then a small regional airline called Mesa Airline from Albuquerque to Roswell, and a coach named Major Gene Hardman, who was waiting for me at the airport. He picked me up, walked me through every building on campus. The library, the mess hall, the cadet shop, the infirmary, the alumni office, finally the barber shop. The barber shop gave me the fastest haircut of my life. Less than 5 minutes. I think it was more like 2 minutes. I didn't know then, but my life in America had just begun. This is The Promise, Episode 2, The Sunrise Hotel.